Hey, it's Erin and Jenny again, and we are back with Revisions Mentor.
We're here to talk to you today about more about the wow factor.
Yeah, we're going to talk to you about staging a living room in the main living spaces in the house and how to draw those buyers in from the moment they walk in the door.
We've got tons of tips and tricks for you. So do us a favor and subscribe to our page if you want to hear more about what we have to offer.
Yes, click like, click the bell, and leave a comment below because we'd love to hear from you.
So the first video that we've done on the wow factor covers demographics, identifying your target market, and then really working on creating an emotional impact for the buyers. And that information is available if you click on the link below. You can access the first video in this series.
Yes, so go ahead and have a look. And today we're going to go into focusing on the main living areas. So one of the first things that you notice when you go into a space is whether or not the furnishings are appropriate in terms of scale and size for the space. If you go into a living room with an oversized couch and it's too big for the living room, it's going to eat up all of your floor space. So obviously you want to make sure that you're considering the size of the living room and the size of the furnishings inside.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to take stuff out. If the room feels really full and really cluttered, it sort of gives a buyer the idea that there's not a lot of room to work with. So less is more, I would say. Scale back, pull a piece out, pull an oversized chair out that doesn't need to be in there. Really simplify to make the space seem larger.
Yes, and that's when we're doing an occupied staging. When we're bringing in our own pieces, we just make sure that the furnishings that we order are typically appropriate sizes for the type of houses that we typically stage.
Yeah. And we like to kind of create for the living room, we're talking about a conversation area where we float the furniture in the center of the room, anchored on a nice oversized rug, sofa across from the focal point, which is usually the fireplace, and then a couple of side chairs, coffee table in the middle. It creates a nice conversation space. Visually, it looks really pleasing, and it's a simple, welcoming space.
It is, and this is where the neutral color palette is really critical. We've gone over this before, but in terms of buying your own staging inventory, we have learned to keep everything kind of in the same vein, and that just makes making your selections go so much more quickly and so much more smoothly.
It does, and it's also really calming, right? We use lots of neutral linen shades and soft beiges and soft blues and whites. Everything mixes and matches, so it's a very calming, neutral palette.
Yes, and
very
with
pretty.
it is really pretty. And with all of the neutral tones that we use, we also try to add a whole lot of textures that just make things feel warm and inviting. And we do that with blankets and lots of beautiful throw pillows that all kind of work together, and lots of good greenery.
Yeah.
And
those accessories, I think, make a big difference for us. I think all those little bits really warm the space up, and I think that's the step further that I see us do with our staging. It's adding all those layers, baskets and books and throw blankets and pillows. We use all kinds of interesting textures on our surfaces, textural things that feel cozy and warm, make a nice difference.
so one other thing that you definitely want to make sure that you have plenty of is lamps, and you want to make sure that you have light bulbs for each of your lamps and that you are able to plug them in, because what's the point in having them if you can't actually turn them on?
But as far as creating the wow factor with the lamp, it's that sort of warm, cozy glow in the space, and it's really sweet when you walk into a house and it's all lit up. I think that's really nice for people when they come in.
Absolutely.
Okay, Erin, so moving on to the kitchen.
Yes, this is the first and most critical step in any kitchen staging project. Is it needs to be spotless. And I don't care if it's a brand new build and you know that the countertops need to be wiped off so there's no dust from the drywall, or if it's an occupied staging, that kitchen needs to be absolutely spotless because people are going to notice that.
Right. Yeah. Realtors love to say that kitchens and baths sell houses, and they're really important spaces for buyers.
Absolutely.
So spotlessly clean and then decluttered.
Yep.
We've kind of talked about that in the past, but removing all those personal items, all of the magnets and the photos from the fridge, all of the clutter from the countertops, and that's appliances and knife blocks and all the knickknacks and odds and ends, clean the palette.
Yep.
Start fresh with pretty spare countertops, really.
Yep, absolutely. And if you're doing an occupied staging, this is a really great opportunity to talk to the homeowner about decluttering those cabinets. Go ahead and clean out those junk drawers. You know, encourage them that they're going to be moving anyhow, they're going to be packing anyhow. It's better to go ahead and get this out of the way before you have buyers coming in, opening your cabinets and looking underneath. You know, so clear off those countertops. Don't just shove everything underneath. I would say pack the things that are not critical and keep the things that are absolutely critical for the homeowners to live there for the, you know, the period of time that they're going to be there. But remind them that decluttering and removing this stuff, while it's a lot of work, we realize it's a lot of work for them on the front end. It's very important for the incoming buyers that they see that these spaces are clean.
Yeah. And then with that clean palette, you can sort of take an opportunity to make a pretty little vignette. Bring in some greenery, put in a basket of fresh fruit, or a stack of pretty cookbooks, just something to capture the eye and say fresh and clean and welcome. Doesn't have to be fancy.
Yes, and deliberate. You want to look deliberate in your intentional in the things that you put in there. You know, coffee stations are really sweet, and something we always do, whether it's an occupied staging or a staging that we do in a house that's unoccupied, is we do a tray with bottles of Pellegrino, a handful of business cards, and a bowl of chocolates. And we leave some of our marketing materials out, and then always the realtors have some sort of printed materials or some sort of book together. So, you put all that out, and it's just warm and welcoming, and you are kind of inviting the buyers to spend more time in the space.
Right.
Which is always good.
It is. Another super simple, affordable thing, a couple of new dish towels.
Yes.
Yeah. Stack them up, hang them on the oven or over the sink. Brand new towels. They just look fresh. They look crisp. They say new to a buyer.
Absolutely. So, if you would, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us. We have so much more information to share with you.
If you have questions for us, leave it in the comments. We would love to hear from you.
Click on the link below and we will send you our free home staging move-in checklist.